So what you're seeing in the thumbnail and title is true. One of the most disappointing changes to Wuthering Waves has happened. Probably ever since, in terms of gacha games, probably ever since the whole Bernice thing that went on whenever they removed the kind of censorship and you couldn't actually see underneath and people were freaking out about that. Honestly, I would say that's pretty much on par with this one because this post came up in r/Wuthering Waves recently, pretty much saying they just removed Cantarella's camel toe. Now, obviously, this is probably some pretty devastating news to all of you, so I'm gonna, give you a minute just to calm down. It's gonna be okay. Obviously, Cantarella has been a very, very fan-servicey character ever since, her release. And she's been definitely catching a few eyes. And one of the things that, people really enjoyed about it was the fact that she had a camel toe on her model, which was kind of crazy to begin with. I'm not even sure how that got that in the first place. But obviously, this also kind of ties in with the fact that we had the age rating change just yesterday, which went out to a 16+, which kind of confuses me because maybe, I thought it would have been allowed just due to the fact that, they've upped the age rating. Maybe something like this is more allowed in the game. But also, maybe this means that Wuthering Waves is going or undergoing a kind of age rating or rating change in the game overall. Because obviously, yes, they've changed the physical rating, but they've also changed stuff like this within the game, which makes me think, maybe the developers are reevaluating what kind of stuff they can and can't have, or maybe they've had some kind of contact from a regulator or something like that to change some of the things that are happening. They're saying, okay, maybe the regulators were saying you could boost it up to a 16+, but you're gonna have to get rid of stuff like this. And obviously, yeah, people aren't very happy on r/Wuthering Waves to say. So yesterday, April 8th, I saw a meme about a specific detail in Cantarella's design, and I checked it out. But today, April 9th, I noticed, unfortunately, they removed that detail. What do you think about this? So it's kind of crazy that this person even noticed this in the first place. They've been checking it every single day. It's okay, it's still there, thank God, every single day on their account, which honestly, respect. I honestly do respect it. And obviously, yeah, people are saying after we got the 16+ age rating, which, yeah, I find kind of confusing. The fact that they've actually gotten rid of it, I feel like, this would have been appropriate for that age rating because, she's not fully nude or anything. It's just a kind of detail on her character design. But that is not the case here. They say you have to understand that 16+ rating says nudity is bait. It's a CN game lol. That rating change is mostly for mature storytelling / tone. But I don't think it is bait because obviously, yeah, on the age rating, it said it was for nudity. But I honestly do believe it is for nudity. And, it even says on the Peggy ratings and everything like that. But obviously, it does depend on what kind of region and everything this is also going into. Because China do have some different, I guess, restrictions and different, I guess, ideologies on what is rated higher, what is rated lower, to that of the UK, the US, or other places. So again, maybe this was due to China, kind of restricting and censoring some of the stuff, because we've seen that before with a lot of other games. For example, I think Nikkei is still at a 12, which is kind of crazy, but Genshin Impact had to change a couple of their skins, everything like that. So it does get pretty confusing, especially whenever it comes to Chinese kind of censorship, because it depends also, I think, what region they're in China, and it depends on their laws on the kind of age rating system, because that can also change, because, companies like Azure Lane are still, rocking a pretty low age rating despite all of the designs they've got in the game. Whereas, a game like Genshin Impact is constantly getting under fire for literally just having a little bit of cleavage on that character, which is kind of crazy. And obviously, yeah, it's very confusing to a lot of people over here on how these rules are actually set out and, how this actually changes. But obviously, mostly with the Cantarella design, it's staying mostly the same just due to the fact that, it's a very, very successful character. I honestly don't think they're going to slow down on any of these kind of designs or anything. Maybe, yeah, someone was saying maybe it's too spicy for 16+, and they say 16+ is not for horny stuff. Peggy Guide says it's only for sexual activity, which honestly, I do think, I don't really know if that kind of, it says reaches a stage that looks the same as would be expected in real life. This rating is, applied. I feel like that would fall under the guise of sexual activity. But again, maybe it's a little bit different. They say, Lamau, now need to log onto my ult that has Cantarella and check. Oh wow, they did it, lol. So yeah, it seems like this is just a all-around thing. This isn't just one person that went onto their account and maybe they had their settings a bit lower so it didn't appear. But yeah, it seems like, this person's saying literally unplayable. It's the Scar incident all over again whenever they got rid of the zipper. Bro, that was one of the biggest incidents in Wuthering Waves when the game first came out, was the fact that Scar didn't have a zipper on his skin anymore. Everyone was talking about it, everyone was not happy about it, and Scar still isn't playable to this day, which is kind of crazy, but I do wish they kind of bring back the zipper, especially for his playable character. Maybe they will. And then someone obviously making a joke saying, Trump's tariffs did this, unbelievable, Kuro didn't say thank you, which again is kind of crazy. They say, first they take away my Scar-racy, and now this, unplayable. Bait and switch. Why would they do this after increasing the rating? You know, where's the compensation? Need funds for Zany. I'm not surprised. Remember, it's the same people that censored Scars on Agiri, which, yeah, again, very, very crazy. Please give the before image without the text. Obviously, you know, they were posting that up there. But again, this seems to be a update on this situation. Honestly, I don't think it's a big deal. I do feel like, you know, some people were kind of blowing this out of proportion, saying that it's kind of false advertising, and that some people thought that, you know, this effect, like this kind of, I guess, design was one of the reasons why they pulled for Cantarella. But let's be real, it's like something really small. It's a really small detail that doesn't really make that much of a difference. Obviously, yes, you can get upset over it, but I don't think it's as bad as maybe, you know, the Bernice thing, whenever they whenever they added censorship to a lot of the characters, especially in a game like Xenozone Zero, which, you know, we all know was meant to be for a little bit of a more mature audience. And I feel like Wuthering Waves is definitely going down this more mature route as well. So, you know, it would be nice if they can add details like this in the future and not remove them, but it seems like for this one, it has been removed and they have kind of backtracked, which obviously is a complete contrast to what we were saying yesterday about, you know, maybe Wuthering Waves are going to go even further with this by, you know, releasing that new age rating stuff. So yeah, it is very surprising, and I do feel like there is a little bit of a shakeup going on with the rating system, and I think that is the main reason why this has actually happened. But yeah, players are not very happy with this, and obviously, you know, I'm going to go check my Cantarella in a little bit. I haven't played Wuthering Waves yet. I'm still waiting for the Honkai Star Rail, you know, stuff. I need to go and pull on Castros and be a hypocrite because, again, why not? But honestly, yeah, it's a pretty crazy situation, and yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And this is like a kind of new thing. Again, as I said, I'm trying to kind of release videos quicker on different topics that come out, and I feel like this might be a little bit of a better thing. So let me know down in the comments. Again, you know, obviously I asked you guys in the last video that I did like this, if this is better, and if you prefer just unedited and me just talking like this and getting to topics quickly, or if you prefer me to actually edit my videos in full, because again, I'm trying to shake up the channel a little bit just to, you know, the engagement's been a little bit low, and that's mainly due to my fault not being quick enough to getting to some of the stuff, because I like to edit it quite a bit. But if this kind of content is fine, let me know down in the comments, because I really, really want to know, and I really want this feedback, you know, on whether this content is actually good. And yeah, just let me know in the comments if there's anything else you want to see, if there's any other kind of changes you want to see, because again, I really do appreciate it. But yeah, crazy situation overall, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. I will wait a couple more seconds because we've hit 8 minutes. Okay, bye-bye.